Welcome to the deep dive. That was a little bit abbreviated of an intro, but that's fine.
Scared the hell out of me.
It's the holiday season. Thanksgiving is nigh. Hopefully you are planning on spending time with people you want to spend time with, whoever that may be. Doing some drinking, doing some relaxing, doing some recharging the old batteries. I could certainly use that after the brutality that has been the 2021 NFL campaign for myself. So very much looking forward to a little bit of time not paying attention or caring about football. And the schedule gods have kind of helped me in that regard because the Thursday night football games suck. So we will get there in due time. But Andy, what is going on with your preparations for the upcoming Turkey Day here in America?
Not cooking at all. So we're doing traveling. We're going to two separate, different grandparents' houses. One will actually be at Christmas because they have done this a couple times. The in-laws would like, they're spread out and they're like, hey, we can't get everyone together for Christmas, but we can for Thanksgiving. Should we just do Christmas and Thanksgiving? Which the kids aren't complaining. So I'm doing two Thanksgivings and a Christmas this weekend. I'm not doing any cooking. I'm just going to bring a big bottle of rye and show up with my gleaming smile and, get excited to eat a bunch. So yeah, it's going to be not a ton of travel. It's not like I'm going very far. It's all drivable, but a lot of eating, a lot of hanging out with some family. I don't get to see as much, haven't got to see them as much in the past, year and a half, obviously with some, I don't know, just not really full on restrictions. Just my dad's old, and he was a bit at risk. So when this whole thing started, we're like, fuck, I don't know if we should go visit old people. Yeah, especially when it first started that summer, it's like, I'm not sure what the protocol is here. So yeah, it'll be nice to do that. It'll be nice to eat a bunch. And like you said, the football games aren't that good, but I'm still going to watch them. And yeah, we might just put a chat poll, let the chat decide what the picks are for Thursday. Because
I got one plan.
Why screw up a nice thing?
I ended up
playing 5-1 the last 6.
Before it was all said and done, I played one. We'll get there though. Fresh crack at the old NFL handicap here. We still have a lot of football games left. Gonna try to find some winners this week. I'm done. I think I'm done, at least for the time being, playing totals. I can't win a total. I don't know why. Seems random, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's just something about the way I'm approaching the handicapping game. Certainly, I've done a lot of soul searching about my numbers and what I'm driving them from. And a lot of things that over the years have been stable year over year have not this year. Defense has mattered more, weirdly. Offense has been less predictable from week to week. Quarterback play has been less predictable from week to week. And so those are the things I typically key on. I think that's affecting some of my my handicap here. And it doesn't help that we have a turnover of quarterbacks every single week. There's new guys, and you have to come up with new numbers. And that includes the game we want to start off the show with, the Bears and the Lions. We're getting Andy Dalton. We're getting a coach who's a lame duck for the Bears.
I don't know. I guess he said he's not, but again, why would you say yes? Like if somebody asks you that, be like, yes, I've been told I'm being fired after the game. This is it, guys. Like you just have to lie in the presser, I suppose. So, and he might be ready for a different pasture. I'm sure he can catch on somewhere as an assistant. That's kind of how this works. It doesn't matter how bad you were you're going to find a spot as an assistant, at least for half a year before you get fired right before Thanksgiving by a team who put a special teams assistant ahead as head coach and now is going to blame Jason Garrett, as much as I hate Jason Garrett. But yeah, he'll be fine. I don't honestly, I'm in team. This is a rumor. I don't think Nagy's fired. I still don't think the Bears do it midseason.
Yeah, I think it's a rumor too.
I think it's more of a rumor, but honestly, they should. It's fine.
I think he probably started the rumor to kind of soften the scrutiny he's under. And he's probably preparing to step away if they lose this game and he's just untenable, and then he'll step away as opposed to actually forcing the Bears ownership hand. They don't really seem inclined to do anything anyway. So let's talk about this game a little bit and the market movement. It was a 3, it was a 3.5, and it's back to a 3. Some of the movement back to a 3 seems to be people running to bet the Lions and Tim Boyle because they think the team has quit on Nagy. Okay. Take you're putting your life in your hands in that moment because the Bears are much, much more talented team.
Well, this is my question to you real quick, just off the bat, the way he's played this year in the system he's been forced to play in, what is your upgrade for Andy Dalton starting the game over Justin Fields? Having not a full week to prep, actually prepping for the game.
1.5, 2.
I have him at 2. Like he's just, and it's not because he's good. This is like, hey, on a scale of all the quarterbacks, Andy Dalton's a -2, but Justin Fields a -4. Like that's where we're at. He is an upgrade. He led 2 75-yard plus drives. He didn't make any galling mistakes, and they almost won a game that they really weren't. I mean, I don't want to say like weren't competitive. They weren't even like present in the first half of that game. I mean, it was a rough look to lose to Tyler Huntley either way, but
I don't want
that first half was ugly.
I don't want to talk about
yeah. What are you gonna do?
No, but to kind of talk about the specific quarterback and the way you value this quarterback. You put these two quarterbacks against a violent defense that can rush the passer behind this offensive line. Justin Fields is getting you 0. Andy Dalton's getting you 13. Right? You put these two quarterbacks behind this offensive line that's meh, and up against the Detroit Lions defense that doesn't have any pass rush. Justin Fields will do some stuff, but Andy Dalton could probably move the ball pretty comfortably on this Detroit Lions defense. If you made me pick a play in this game, I'm taking Bears team total over just because I think Dalton can get you into the 20s here. Right now we're looking at a total of 41 and a team total of 23. Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah, I know. I looked at that too. I was looking at this and I actually had a call today with Matoy.
Yeah,
from Vegas.
Guy. Yeah.
And I said these words to him. I said, I'm actually looking at being the comeback on the over on this game. And that tells me I just shouldn't bet this game. Because I do think Goff starts, but I don't know what kind of shape he's in. Goff, for some reason here, is deciding to, I don't know, maybe he just thinks like Detroit is used to this. It's a holiday. I need to give the city, the county, the state of Michigan, I need to give them what they expect on Thanksgiving.
Me. They need to see me play football.
It's an injured quarterback that shouldn't be playing that's toughing it out. I mean, he's just gone full Stafford, right? If he goes, he's hurt. Like he has bad injury in his core. You know how bad core injuries suck for when you make a twisting motion or you get hit by a giant man? I'm not excited about him going. It's probably better than Boyle, but maybe it's negligible. If he looks bad, they might end up going with Boyle. Is that something you want to get involved in? So
Boyle's not as good as what you saw last week. Boyle was
he clearly is
not that good.
And then just also these offenses, like their bottom 6, 7. I think I looked at their average yards per game. It doesn't even add up to 600 if you put them together. Yeah, so I like the over, but I just don't know what I'm getting from Goff or God forsake Boyle, and I feel like it's a sloppy game you don't want to be involved in. Like just maybe I'm having my meal early, so I'll just eat instead of watching this first half.
Okay. Speaking of watching first halves, did you get your live ticket in on Western Michigan? It's back up to 19.5.
I bet that. So I bet my pick this morning was the team total over. It was 30.5 this morning before any of the injury news. And then they got steamed out. They were like -3.5 this morning when I looked at this line. I'm like, I should just bet that, which I would have had infinite closing line value on that. But yes, it is a Tuesday action that's distracting us, which is it's fun.
I'm also watching the live market now on Miami Detroit. Second half line is 10. And actually Detroit is getting bet in the second half Okay. I'm almost certainly going to get involved with Miami at some point in the second half of this game. But let's move on to the if the Bears Lions is the appetizer, the Raiders Cowboys is the main course for Thanksgiving.
I mean, this is dinner.
Can you think of a team that is less ready to be really thrust into the main television viewing experience for most of America than the Las Vegas Raiders? This does not seem like a team that really, really is dying for the spotlight.
No, and not only the distraction level of it, but losing Ruggs from this offense. I mean, you lost your deep threat, and apparently, Deshaun Jackson doesn't have his fastball, but they've averaged like 14 points over the last few games. They've lost 3 in a row. Were they 5-2 at one point? The Raiders just seem real blasé right now. They don't seem super excited to be playing football, which sucks because this is probably too many points if they're playing tough. If Carr looks like he did early in the season against, let's face it, not such great teams at sometimes, but this is probably too many points. But the fact is, like, Coop is out with the Rona. Cooper didn't get vaccinated, so he's out the minimum 10, which is really poor timing when you have a Thursday game. Jerry Jones was very mad about that. He brought that up in a press conference, basically called him out for that, said that, you just kind of screwed the team over with that. CeeDee Lamb has a chip chair and a chance to play. I know they said, like, oh, he's going to do some light field work. Like, it doesn't matter how he feels. He has to pass the protocol with the neurologist. So, I mean, he can look fine. He can be practice. Like, you can go watch practice tomorrow and he can look great. It doesn't mean a hill of beans if they don't clear him. And if they're without Cooper and CeeDee Lamb, you do have Tyron Smith is back. He is practicing. He is projected to go. That makes a big difference. Man, like, I would just run the fuck out of this ball, like, especially what you've seen, like what we saw last week. And obviously the game state dictated it, but Mixon looked really good. You have 2 running backs despite the injury to, you could probably rest. You could go like a 70-30 Pollard Zeke split, run the ball a lot. And I really think the way this Raiders offense is too, I'm kind of thinking this total should be 49, if not a little lower. I'm tempted by an under here.
I mean, the Raiders last week were an absolute anomaly. The concept, the execution, everything was so bad last week. That was really tough to watch. And they're going up against a similar defense that you should be able to score points on. You should be able to move the ball against. Doesn't really have a pass rush. Doesn't have an interior pass rush, certainly. Carr can show up here. If you made me take a side, I'm taking the Raiders. Don't love it. But it's been a bad season for Vegas. Realistically, they could finish 5-12. Their schedule doesn't get any easier anytime soon. Cowboys, on the other hand, need to get right big time. That was pretty unfortunate for them last week against the Chiefs. I didn't think they played as poorly as the score differential. Like, they never were in that game.
They looked like they were just like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, nervous, like, oh my God, this is a big game. And they just acted like it was their first time in a spot like that. Like, they look dumb at times.
What do you think of the comments from Jerry Jones after the game of, we need to establish the run type of crap?
I mean, it's not a bad week to do it again. You can run on this team.
Yeah, but
especially with the backs you have. But I mean, it's long term, that's not good. Especially when you're already getting whiffs of McCarthy and the Kellen Moore play calling. So that's another reason. The way that Jerry said that and the influence he has over coaches, another reason I'm willing to, if CD and Cooper out and they run a bunch, how does this get into the 50s? With a Raiders blowout. Like, that's how it gets in the 50s. Like, the Raiders have to absolutely take this offense that's been stuck in the mud for 3 weeks from 0 to 60. It can happen. This defense has been better than, a lot of people expected, and they got some decent players. I think Gregory's playing. I think it's his birthday today. Let's call him.
Whatever. He's still an edge guy and going up against the one guy that can pass block for the Raiders. So I don't know.
True.
Hopefully this is more Tony Pollard than Zeke.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. 70-30 Pollard. Zeke is injured. He has a bad knee.
Yeah.
Like he's playing through it, but
hopefully Dak isn't actually hurt. Is he hurt? How hurt is Dak? How hurt is Dak? On a scale of 1 to 10. 6, 7?
I think he's faking it less than Aaron.
Yeah, I think that's true. Speaking of faking it, freaking
I thought your wife walked in the room.
Jokic is playing. She didn't appreciate that. Speaking of Jokic, or faking it, Jokic apparently is going to play.
He's going to play? Where does that line close then?
4.
4.5?
Probably 4.
Oh, the joys of the NBA. This is why I only bet. I'm very particular about my NBA bets, Drew.
Yeah.
All right, the nightcap, Buffalo, New Orleans. Hey, what do all 6 of these Thanksgiving teams have in common, Drew?
They're all football teams.
Mm-hmm.
They all lost last week.
They did.
Some of them worse than others.
All 6 of these teams lost, and they all lost. I mean, kind of all in just Chicago losing to Huntley, Detroit losing in a game that they looked like they were, on the precipice of maybe getting it done. Vegas just looking absolutely dead fish. Dallas embarrassing themselves on the national stage. Mm-hmm. Buffalo really getting trucked, and New Orleans really getting trucked. I mean, that was kind of similar games. Yeah. It was a quarterback running instead of Jonathan Taylor. But yeah, the Bills finally were tested a little. And
does that challenge any of your preconceptions about whether teams have look-aheads?
A little bit, but at the same time, man, you still needed to realize that Indy was on a 2-game winning streak where the offense was looking pretty good despite the opponents. They put up 45 on the Jets on a short week.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude.
I don't know.
We went by 2 Thursday games, and I didn't mention that you have a first-time head coach in 2 of them. Dan Campbell. First-time head coach on a Thursday, rookie head coach on a Thursday, and then whoever the guy for the Raiders.
Brescia? Is that how we say it?
I don't know. I have not paying attention. Whoever took over for Gruden.
Special teams coach.
Yeah. So I got involved here with the Bills.
Okay. I like it.
A little bit too much of a market downgrade on them.
Yes.
I think they still are among the elite in the NFL. As hard as that is to square with how they performed last week. This, ironically, the look ahead here was 4. It went up to 5, down to 4.5, and now it's sitting at 6.
Well, let's take your preconceived notions.
Why take your 6.5. This moved today?
Take your maybe.
Is that 6.5 at a bunch of places?
I don't blame him because so Kamara probably just out. Ingram injury list right now.
Yeah.
So sound like they might. So let's see. How did the Colts get it done last week with a stud running back? Now we're going to be 3rd string running back for New Orleans. We're going to be the backup quarterback who now we have a little more tape on. We're going to have Troutman's out now too, who is actually a fine tight end. He's on the IR, and they're missing a couple defensive pieces as well. So the Saints are kind of banged up, and if nothing else about the Bills, they're healthy. Edmonds is playing, and I think the only other person on the injury report was Beasley, and he was just limited. And he'll play. He's fine. So the Bills terribly healthy. And again, if you had your preseason number, if you took your Bills preseason number and then you said, all right, the Bills, we don't know what they're going to be, but the Saints will be on the backup quarterback, the 3rd string receiver, or the third string running back, backup quarterback. Your starting wide receiver doesn't play all year, your best one. You lost a tight end and you're missing pieces. This should have been 7.5 at some place. Yeah, I bet. I think the adjustment is too big. I agree with you here.
And honestly, the Saints defense, while it was elite at one point, it definitely looks like they have kind of exhausted everything they have. Keeping them in games through the Jameis Winston experience and the Trevor Siemian experience, it looks like the cracks have kind of set in with that unit.
Yeah, Davenport didn't practice.
They've played a lot. The Saints, let's not forget, the Saints have played a lot of games on the road this season. The entire first quarter of the season, they were on the road consistently because of the hurricane. They had a front-loaded road schedule to begin with. This team is a little bit out of gas as far as I can tell you. And I don't think that's great news for an angry Bills team that's coming to the Superdome. And honestly, some of the Bills issues and some of Josh Allen's issues this year, I think have been a little bit wind affected. Whenever there's just, for whatever reason, you think the guy with an arm that can throw it over them mountains should be able to deal with a little 15-mile-an-hour breeze, but he's struggled in the wind for whatever reason. It's affecting his accuracy. It's affecting his overall performance. And he still has an absolute stable of sick wide receivers in this contest. Bills should win by double digits here. This should be a go to bed early kind of a game. Tune into the halftime show where we're
chasing.
No, this is the only bet I made for Thursday. Did you make any bets for Thursday yet?
And this is another one where I think I actually like all three unders on Thursday.
Okay.
I like this under, but possibly
more.
Parlay? Possibly, I probably will. I'll probably
a little D-gen parlay.
The only time I ever tease totals is on Thanksgiving, where I will do a 6-team teaser in all these, and I'll cross 0 if I have to. I don't care. How good is tequila, by the way? So I will either way. So all right, on to Sunday. Tennessee, the team just at the top, the tippy top of their market, come back to earth a little. And now they're facing a team who is probably at the top of their respective market after a couple nice wins and
respectfully disagree.
Extra rest.
Respectfully disagree.
You don't think the Patriots are?
They have room to go up.
They probably do, but they're a lot higher relative to any other point in the season.
They have room to grow.
You gonna lay it?
No. No. This is a tough one, really. Motivation's all over the place here, swirling. Titans coming off of an embarrassing loss. Patriots feeling pretty damn good about themselves after a primetime win. Patriots at the top of the standings all of a sudden, looking at Monday Night Football next week. You know what happens on Monday night next week, Andy? You want to guess?
I know. I don't want to guess.
They got to go to Buffalo and play the Bills.
Yeah, it's the Buffalo game. Like it's important.
It's a big damn game.
I don't think they're susceptible to look aheads. The coaching's too good. But my biggest thing, why I crossed this off right away, because I do believe that the 6 is a little heavy. It's the Titans are so banged up. I mean, this is just like I said with.
Yeah, no. What's your current power ranking for the Titans? Where are they as currently rostered? So no AJ Brown, no Julio Jones.
I haven't even gotten them fully updated for the week, man.
Okay, give me a ballpark. Because I said something this morning and I got a face like, huh? What? Where are you?
Three better than a neutral
for this Titans team
right now.
Well, we are on opposite ends of the earth, my friend.
I have no. This is AJ Brown plays. This is injuries go well. There's room for a downgrade here. Three better than an average team still.
I feel like you should be taking the points if that's where you're at here.
Because
the Patriots aren't
this week yet.
4 better than that. They're not a touchdown better than. I mean, if that's the way you read this market, if that's the way you read this market, then what you're saying is correct. Then the Patriots are at the absolute top.
Well, no, and I mean, Drew, what kind of downgrade should I be giving them off? That is last week's number. It's Tuesday afternoon. I still haven't got my shit together on the power rankings. Like probably 1.5 down, and then probably a little more for injury, so that I probably have them maybe as a 0.8.
Yeah.
Once I get this all said and done, which I still don't know how I feel about having them on that side of 0, but I gotta put a little bit of the prior in and hope that and if injuries continue to go wrong, like they end up on the other side of 0. Absolutely. We should update my power rankings as we go through this. It'll be fun. But like, yeah, Julio, AJ, some defenders, obviously Bud Dupree and Tractor Cito on the IR long term. It's a really bad injury mess. This team might go from like, hey, we were the 1 seed for a few weeks to these injuries caught up with us, and we are a fucking 11-6 team.
Yeah.
Even with an easy schedule, like the injuries do this to you. If you lose the, as much as running back don't matter and all that, like if you lose the identity of your offense and then you're forced to switch gears and your 2 best receivers are hurt and your best tight ends in New England and you just signed, AP and released him, you're in a tough spot offensively. Tannehill has the most interceptions thrown this year, by the way, in the league.
What? I would not have guessed that at all. Is that right? He's had a couple bad games. I guess that's fair. It was a 4-pick effort last week. That's why he shot up the standings last week. Okay. Wow. Huh. Really the Titans offense without AJ Brown and without Derrick Henry is bottom 10 for me. And this team overall, because I upweight passing offense and I upweight offense, is 21st right now in my rankings. I would make Pittsburgh favorites over them on a neutral. I would make Denver favorites over them on a neutral. Philadelphia is a favorite over them on a neutral for me. I have them rated quite low. If
AJ Brown doesn't go, it turns into a cluster injury with Julio, AJ, and obviously Derrick Henry out, and the step back to got Foreman or whatever that they're going to use at running back. It is a big downgrade coming for this team for me. Even if I put them at like a -1, I'm not sure where I have the Patriots. I'm going to look at my upgrades there too. I still don't know. I'm probably right on market at that point if I'm looking at where I should move the Patriots up to. And again, I'm just avoiding this. A couple people, I won't bet this game. A couple people are asking about the Colts coming on hard. The problem with the Colts they are 2 full games back, plus they lost the head-to-head. All of them. They played each other twice already and they lost them both. So Tennessee essentially, ostensibly, is that the right use of that word? Has a 3-game lead?
Ostensibly, yes.
Ostensibly. So a tie doesn't do it for the Colts. So the Colts gonna need some help. But
need some help. Classic needs some help. Yeah. But the Colts are built to go play outside in the playoffs. So if they could just get their nose into the mix, they're going to be dangerous.
It's funny you say that because like you're not being facetious.
No.
They're an indoor team. They're an indoor team who can totally go out and play in like New England, Buffalo,
as you
Green
just
Bay.
saw. They're
not going to play Green Bay in the playoffs.
I think they get New England in Indy, which is kind of unfortunate for them.
Baltimore,
honestly.
Pittsburgh. The NFC is rife.
Are we on Indy yet? I want to talk about Indy. Let's keep going.
Well, let's keep it rolling. New York, Houston, skip.
Yep.
I mean, we're getting back to the rookie quarterback.
We can have a good laugh. We can have a good laugh about both Mike White and Flacco ending up on the COVID list. Good thing for them that apparently Zach Wilson was not also in the room, I guess. So we don't get a Kendall Hinton. Who was the kid from wide receiver for Denver last year? Kendall Hinton.
We would have had
Jameson Crowder. Would have been great.
No. We would have had Johnson.
Oh yeah.
Josh Johnson.
Wait, did he get hurt? No. Why didn't they go with him instead of Flacco? He must have got hurt.
Clues. He's getting called up from the practice squad to back up Zach Wilson. So he'll be on the sidelines. You might see him play.
Why did they go with Flacco last week instead of him?
Why did the Jets do anything?
Yeah, I give up on these. I don't have any comment.
And this is a good point. Trading for an unvaxxed QB is peak Jets. Like, if I had that many problems at quarterback, I would probably just like, hey, I don't know, like, this is the worst part about Twitter when everybody becomes everyone became a stock market expert, everyone becomes a epidemiologist, everybody's an NFT expert. There was like 2 weeks where everybody became a HIPAA expert. And like, I've been married to a nurse for fucking 15 years. I don't even understand HIPAA. Like, I could ever explain it to me. Like, but I feel like you probably can't ask that in a job interview, or if you're like trading for a guy. So maybe there is a little. I'm not 100% sure you can ask about that. Which, if you could, the Jets probably didn't anyway. So moving on.
Jags got
not
in trouble
betting
for using that as a means to cut people.
Not betting this, and Patrick's making it official. Jets outright. Jets get another win and screw up. I mean, how did the Jets screw up this game? They make their draft positioning worse by winning.
Which the Texans did last week. And looked like they may do it. We'll do it again. Yeah, we're just crazy enough. We'll win another game.
Texans winning streak.
Amazing. I have no. But if you have to pick this for a pool, flip a coin. I mean, if you can tell me that there's a meaningful difference between these two teams, then I guess take the.
How about these Broncos? Not the Denver Broncos. Is it Western Michigan? Are they the Broncos?
Are they just dominating? Was
28-7.
28-7, yes.
Not even a halftime. Team total was 30.5. Oh my God.
Let's fucking go.
All right. Philly, New York. Philly was a fun team to watch last week. Ooh. Jalen Hurts is a fun player to watch. This team has some glaring holes in this roster still. They're not going to compete in the playoffs. Oh
my God.
But man, I think they're a little closer than we think.
Yeah. Shout out to our guy, Signed Collectibles 1. He asked us like 8 times, is Philly going to make the playoffs? Is that a bet at plus 2 to 1? That
kind of
looking damn good right now. I mean, I know they're not in the picture, but I would take them over the Saints in a heartbeat right now. Not only did they just beat them. But.
Well, not only that, but 2 teams ahead of them are playing each other. The Vikings,
That's right.
San Francisco, they can't both win. They may tie, just cover all my bases, but that seems unlikely. One of those teams will probably lose this weekend. That helps them out if they can get this win in a reeling Giants team. I think the Giants probably play better in this one, but at the same time, that Phillies, they haven't been that mistake prone. Like, just
did you see the play where Daniel Jones threw it into the gut of the D lineman?
D lineman.
No, did you miss that one?
I think the only thing I can think of is maybe Freddie Kitchens realized that Daniel Jones is actually a very mobile quarterback and they should be running him a little bit, because who cares? If they do that, this offense looks a little better. And at the same time, Saquon should just sit. He's like, why are we even using him at all? Like, those are just wasted downs for the most part. Run your backup running back. Run Daniel Jones. Hey, throw it to your, and I guess he did miss time, and that sucks, but throw it to your wide receiver you paid so much fucking money for, who was a stud in Detroit. If somebody is a stud in Detroit and he's bad when he gets to you, that's a bad sign. It's a bad sign of the play calling. And granted, he was hurt for a little bit. Galladay was hurt, but yeah, you have a couple decent tight ends. You have Galladay. Booker isn't terrible. Jones can run. Like, this isn't a team that should put up 10 points, even against Tampa. Like, it should have been able to get something in garbage time. Granted, we bet against that. We're fine with that result. But we're more than fine with Tampa dominating and continue to dominate. But boy, this is a team that I don't think is completely dead. Eagles.
Wait. Which
Eagles are better.
Which team's not completely?
No, I mean, they're dead in the playoffs, but I don't think they're dead. Like, this isn't a team that's like going to give you dead effort like the Raiders had been.
Oh, okay. You're okay. Yeah. Okay. They're going to give you an honest effort. They beat the Raiders.
That's true.
Can't say that about the Eagles. I backed the Eagles that day. I remember it well. I think. I mean, ultimately, this is why Carson Wentz couldn't win this game for you last year. That would have gotten you a leg up in the NFC East shit show. That Washington ended up winning 7-9 record, I think. This is an important game for the Eagles if they look to continue to ride their trend upwards. Notes on the Eagles. Jalen Hurts is who we've been saying he was all season. Like,
2 years.
It's like there was a cognitive dissonance about exactly what his skill set was and what his ceiling was, and he's exactly doing what we thought he was going to do. A ton of the credit goes to the offensive line, which is playing fucking great. Those guys are crushing right now. They're healthy. They look fresh. They look dynamic. There is going to be lots of room.
Clean.
Lots of room for the Eagles to get it done on the ground in this game against a Giants team that doesn't run fit great, doesn't have a great, even though they have invested all that money in the D line for the Giants and those run stoppers. They can't quite get off the field when they need to in those high leverage moments. Eagles defense is somehow still kind of good, even though they're very simple. Do you get that?
Well coached. They look like they're well coached. Like they're not making big fundamental mistakes, big tackling mistakes. Like sometimes it doesn't take flashy players and, big stars. And, if everybody plays at an acceptable level and it's just good enough, that's what you need out of a defense these days. Like it's hard to have a really good defense in a league that's, predicated on making the offenses easier to score with every rule change that comes along. I will say too, like, is it jumping the shark saying this is like Lamar Jackson light, but without the fanfare? Like he has a lot of rushing yards. He has one decent receiver who is a rookie, and he's looked great, but really he doesn't have a ton of receiving options. The running backs are, it's nothing to write. Sanders is great, but like it's not a lot to write home about. But it's just a fun offense that like kind of moves it in ways where it's like, should they be moving it like this?
Honestly, if as weird as this is to say, it feels more long-term and sustainable than Lamar Jackson. Like Lamar Jackson's was
absolutely jumping the shark.
Lamar Jackson was he's so explosivo. Like he finds that seam, he's on the second level. Goodbye. That's not really what Jalen Hurts is. Jalen Hurts is way efficient. He's like, need 6, get 7. Need 3, get 4. Like that's exactly what he's giving you. And it actually, like, honestly, like that keeps their defense off the field in times when you want them off the field. So it's working out well for this team. It's exactly what they need. They're well coached in general. Yeah, this should be higher than 3. Is it gone up? I bet you it's gone up.
I feel like Dan might have made these yesterday because he's flying today.
Yeah, 3.5 at 3. It's a short number for, going up against Freddie Kitchens.
I think, and that was my last question before we move on. What can you expect out of Freddie Kitchens? Like based on what we got from Cleveland, his time in Cleveland.
I'm going to go with chaos.
Completely different. That's the way that team is set up was so different than this.
Oh yeah.
With what the Giants have. But if the Giants continue to just misuse the passing game, not run Daniel Jones, if they give Saquon like 15 carries, the Eagles come into the Meadowlands and win by 10. I mean, yeah, I'm agreeing. I'm probably selling this out to 4. Once I get my numbers updated, I'll probably do that tonight. Now that's bugging me that I still have the Titans as like a +2.5.
Well, yeah, that Patrick makes a great point. If Freddie Kitchens is somehow a downgrade from Jason Garrett, although was Freddie Kitchens a downgrade from Hugh Jackson?
Nothing is a downgrade from Hugh Jackson.
Was he kidding me? Was he? I mean, that was super dysfunctional. He only had 1 year. Hugh Jackson, I think, had 2, right? Or
Jackson
1 year
went
and a
like
half.
130. Hugh Jackson went like 130-1, man. Like you can't get worse than that. That is the floor. Like you can't get lower than the floor. That's something you'd say if you took too many shrooms. Tampa Bay to Indy. All right, we're both betting Philly, I think.
All right,
Tampa Bay to Indy.
Game.
This is a good one. So, and it's just like I said. Slate. So, like, hey, what beat the shit out of the Bills? A solid running game behind a good offensive line.
Yep.
And obviously, New Orleans is going to struggle to put that on the field Thursday. So kudos, good for Buffalo.
Yep.
And on the same way, Vita Vea back on the field. The Buccaneers, even without him, a good rush defense.
Dominican Suh is playing well right now. Man, was he playing good yesterday.
So I don't expect like, Jonathan Taylor, 20 carries for 13 yards, 3 fumbles, and a black eye. Like, he's not going to have that bad of a day. He's still a very talented running back behind one of the best offensive lines.
No,
you get a black eye. You just get popped in the nose, and you ever have that?
No, I
happen
like
to you?
that. I like that as a same game parlay for Jonathan Taylor.
that should be a same game parlay. So, yeah, the Bucks here again. They're on the road, but it's a nice indoor spot for old man Brady.
Buddy,
And
this is another one where if this was outdoors, I'd feel better about the Colts. I don't feel great about the Colts up against this dynamic offense on the turf. Are you shitting me? No, this is Bucks all the way. This is such a good spot for the fucking Bucks. This is probably the best side of the week, and it's not close. Buccaneers. I know they're on short rest.
It was a short rest, but also it was a really easy second half.
Really easy second half. Really easy week of prep in general.
Well, none of that. It wasn't a big travel spot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They're getting players back healthy. That they could have scored 50 yesterday if it weren't for the drops. If we're being serious, this is the only team that I think you can trust is good in the NFL, and they're taking on a Colts team that just came off they just won their damn Super Bowl. They just beat the Bills, exercised a playoff loss, did it in style. Everybody's talking up Jonathan Taylor MVP this week. Give me a fucking break. Like, this is what a perfect storm to sell high on the Indianapolis Colts. They're at home. I am super excited to see this game decided on the arm of Carson Wentz, because that's what has to go down.
Exactly.
That's what has to go down.
I said,
this has to be decided by Carson Wentz in his arm. There's no Jonathan Taylor. He may be able to get it across the goal line if you're down in the red zone, but he's not moving it from between the 20s not against this unit. And so this does come down to Carson Wentz playing a clean, superlative game, and I am not buying that. No, sir. On top of that, the Buffalo Bills offense was not able to expose the Colts. The Buffalo Bills offense was not able to expose the Colts defense. Tom Brady will. Absolutely. They run basic ass cover 2 crap that Tom Brady has been carving up for like 20 years. If you didn't already know that Tom Brady, one of his most effective defenses facing was the Tampa 2, then you're learning it now, and that's what he's going up against. He is going to carve these guys with the weapons he has available in this one. This is just an absolute beauty. Hopefully you got the 2.5. It's still fair at 3. I think this is going to be a touchdown plus game. And let's go Bucks.
Yeah, agreed. I like and I love selling high on the Colts, especially at home. And really, like, I don't think we saw
high on the Colts. Selling high on the Colts and buying low on a Bucks total. I mean,
I don't think we saw the best of
the hell out of here.
They put up 30, and we didn't really see the best of that offense.
That's right.
That offense actually looked kind of bad for a couple drives. Like, some of those drops are bad.
That was it. It was stuff that's correctable. There was drops. It was weird penalties. It wasn't like fundamental. Like, the scheme is not something that I think will work long term. No, absolutely not.
I might have the wife dip down into Iowa on the way to South Dakota.
There you go. Get a little Buccaneers.
Oh, I should go to Larchwood, honestly. But I'm thinking a same game parlay with a safety in it on this one. Ooh. I feel like Carson Wentz is sacked for a safety in this one.
Vita Vea gets him right up the middle.
Right up the gut, and just kind of
I like it.
Plops him over like in the cartoons where he just squished. All right. The second half of the slate. I don't know what the next game is. I need Matt to change it. Atlanta, we have 2 of these games this week. Houston Jets, Atlanta, Jacksonville, let's not even talk about this game, because I don't think I want to be betting this at all.
2 franchises in total disarray right now.
But let's spend like 3 minutes on, do we think Trevor Lawrence has a bright future in the NFL if he gets a different coach and some skill position players around him? He looks kind of bad, but it's hard to judge him with it. Just like, who else do you have on your team? Who's calling these plays? It's really hard to make a judgment on him. And
is there precedent for that? Can you think of a good comp?
That's what's the thing. Are we saying it's a Darnold or is it a Tannehill?
Or is it a Goff? Goff with
Goff is his own beast.
No, but Goff. You remember?
I'm
thinking of like Jeff Fisher. Goff could not win. Was awful.
Went to a Super Bowl.
Goff went to a Super Bowl. Yeah, like is that what we're talking about here? Or
I hope, like for his sake, I hope his ceiling isn't Goff. I hope his ceiling is higher than Tannehill. Truthfully, like he's a very good player.
Goff went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
he got traded for they paid to trade him. But yeah, Trevor Lawrence likely. I mean, I don't know, dude. This is wide receiver situation is bad. The offensive concepts are bad. I don't know that we can give him anything but an incomplete after this year. I guess you know what he's proven to me. He can stay on the field.
Yeah, good for him. My one quick point before we move on here.
That absolutely matters, by the way.
Yeah, no, it helps a lot. Just getting reps. The Falcons defense has looked okay at times. They obviously did not look good last week against Dak and, a fully functioning Cowboys offense. They're not going to look good against high-end offenses, but they have got some pressure against bad teams. They've gotten some decent play. They have a very high-end cornerback. The Jaguars team total is going to be north of 3 touchdowns here. Ooh. They had a weird game where they got a bunch of points the other week, but
are you throwing this in the mix among the secret?
I'm just going to say it out loud, and then it's going to be one we're going to throw away later.
Okay. 23.5 is high. That's really high, actually. Yeah. All right. I mean, the offense is broken. They're owning it. So I don't know how that gets fixed when you don't change anything about your coaching staff.
They have a good running back.
Are they changing who's calling plays? Maybe. Have you heard that?
What is their team total?
23.5. That seems high.
They have not eclipsed that this year. 10 last week, 17, 9, 7, 23, 19, 21, 19, 20, 13. And they started the season with a 21. They have not gotten to 24 points this year. It kind of has to be in the mix. It's still the Falcons, but fuck.
I will allow it.
I will. We giving it a blessing. All right. Carolina, Miami.
No, they did not against Cincinnati. They lost 24-21 to Cincinnati. Their highest point total was 23 against the Miami Dolphins. The one game they won.
I swear to God.
One of the 2 games they won. I forgot they beat the Bills scoring 9.
Yeah, that Dolphins game, it was like Dolphins or Bengals. I felt like they scored a bunch more points and they didn't.
I thought I same exact mindset.
Samesies. We got gaslighted on that. No, we were in the same boat, Zelensky. Zelensky's auto parts. Carolina at Miami. This is like 3/4 off. This isn't a full off game, but it is an off. Oh yeah, Cam's back, and it's good for the NFL. Like they lost. He's not gonna make good use of having 2 good outside receivers because he can't throw the ball that far. And he's very good with his legs still. I was actually surprised how nimble he was. He's in shape.
Why did you think he wouldn't be nimble?
He's getting up there. And I just you didn't know. We haven't seen him play for 10 weeks. I didn't know if he'd be in full game shape.
Yeah, actually his escapability was, I thought, pretty solid. Yeah, there were a lot of downs that I thought he could have gotten sacked in that game.
Yeah,
so I agree with
you. He looked very mobile. He's not going to be a deep passer anymore. They have 2 good weapons that aren't going to get used as much, and it's going to be like you can probably just take a look at these CMC props every week against bad defenses. Like he's going to get like 30 fucking touches.
He got sacked one time for a 3-yard loss.
He looked pretty good in the pocket, like moving around. We're not going to see the deep ball to Robbie, I don't think.
No. Robbie Anderson can stay home. Take the weekend off. Take the weekend off. Go spend time with your family.
Go see the family
and the other families that you're involved
with.
And
in the same light, I don't see Tua playing that well. This isn't like, this isn't a good defense. Like, oh my God, they're 3-0. This defense is lights out, but it's an okay defense. It's an
top
above
half
average
of the league.
Defense.
Absolutely.
I think I have them 13-14, and Yeah, it's going to be a problem. Like if I had to bet this, I'd be betting Panthers. I'm taking a lot of road favorites. I don't like this.
I'm skipping this game. So
I'm not wanting to bet it. I might have to. I might look at this one too.
Yeah,
the other
skip.
one, the
Let's keep going.
total, quick.
Yeah,
the total is pretty fucking low. Panthers offense with CMC against his defense getting to like 21-22. This is a candidate.
Yeah. Okay. What was Flacco's total against this? Flacco got 17. Cam Newton can get 21. I guess that'll be 22.
It'll probably be 21 after 22.
I'm looking at a 21.5. So they need to get to 23. That's doable. Who's their kicker again? Graham Gano still? Joey Sly got cut. He got his revenge.
Joey Sly revenge game, guys.
Which one is that? This week or last week?
No, that was last week. He plays for the football team.
He's a football teamer, right?
They are on bye.
He's been all over the place, by the way.
Joey Sly getting some well-deserved R&R. Back to the AFC North, the black and blue division of the AFC. Pittsburgh, Cincy.
I think Joey Sly was on San Francisco when they went on their bye. So Joey Sly is double dipping in the old bye department.
Joey, he might play like 19 games this year. or 15.
No, yeah. I'm saying he's just
without missing any
games.
He's
just bouncing around and collecting checks while he's on bye. Do you get a check when you're on bye week?
I think you get.
I don't know that you do.
I think they
call
take your
game.
It doesn't matter what your. It doesn't matter how many weeks they take your salary and just split it up. Like it's the same amount of. If they divide something by 17
every week, no one gets paid every week. Do they?
I think they just split it up 18 ways or something.
Well, my bookie's been getting paid every.
You know, we're gonna call Eric. Eric would know. He knows NFL players.
Okay.
Or other Eric, or Northwestern Eric.
All right.
We'll have to. This bothers me now. I want to know this. So
the kicker for Carolina, by the way, is Zane Gonzalez. Not Graham Gano is no longer
in Zane in the brain. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. I like the Steelers here.
I like the Bengals.
The Steelers are probably getting.
Let's do a little head to head here. What do you like about the Steelers?
The Steelers are probably getting Minka Fitzpatrick, TJ Watt, Loudermilk, and Joe Hayden back. This defense will be good again. They're getting points in a divisional game, and the offense doesn't stink out loud. We saw some pretty nice play against the Chargers, and it wasn't just running the ball like we've seen against the Chargers, and it wasn't all in like desperate down by 15. Some of it was shorter fields, but man, that defense missing a bunch of key players really got after it despite having, we talk about this. One side of the line is a lot weaker but they got after it up the middle. They got after it around both edges. They got pressure. They got hands on the ball. And like this defense is good. This total's probably a bit high for my liking. Chase has taken a big step back. I think teams have just figured out not even like making the joke because we want him to lose Rookie of the Year.
I think he's in deep trouble in that market, by the way.
No, I think he is in deep, but also I think teams have just figured out like, well, fuck, why would we let you do that to us? Like if that's your game plan, we're going to make you not do that. Yeah, you should Google Mike Zimmer girlfriend, by the way.
That's a weird one. That's a weird
one. That guy has to be swinging a 25-pound dumbbell in his khakis. I'm not sure what's going on. Either way, I like the Steelers. I probably won't bet this since he's probably in a decent spot here. But I don't quite get to 3.5 here if all those defensive pieces are healthy and back against a pretty suspect offensive line still.
The Bengals.
If all four of those men play, this is a very, very good defense.
You think all of them are? Even if they take the field,
they're all trending the right way.
No, but I'm saying they take the field. Do you think you're getting the most effective version of all of those players?
I'll take an 80% TJ Watt over most players.
You remember what an 80% or what 100% TJ Watt did the first time these two teams played?
Well, that was different. That team had mojo. This team lost some mojo.
They had mojo. Okay.
The Zimmer talk in the chat's killing me. So not a strong take, but I just if this defense is fully intact, I can't get the Bengals to 3.5 even at home.
Wow.
Probably
man.
not a play, but it's the way I lean. Make your case.
So the first time these two teams played, you did have a fully healthy Pittsburgh Steelers team, full strength, taking on your Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow was clean, 0 sacks in that game. Pass pro did its job. In fact, Joe Burrow wasn't even really asked to do much. He threw 3 touchdown passes, but he was only 14 of 18 for 172 yards. They got it done with just a complete defensive performance because Ben Roethlisberger is not as good as the guy you saw in primetime. He had a week off. God knows what the fuck he was doing in his week off getting prepared for that game. But he came fired out of a cannon on Sunday Night Football. I am not expecting the same level of performance out of Ben Roethlisberger. That is for damn sure. He
assaulted that Chargers defense.
He did. And realistically, this is what you do when you see Ben Roethlisberger have an outlier performance like that. You fade him the next week because you know that he is in that huddle. Like, I'm going to Claypool right off the bat. We're going to Claypool 40 yards. Let's do it. And then it flutters 25. It gets picked off and run back for a touchdown.
Yeah, Claypool runs a 60-yard go route.
If you need a reminder of what Ben Roethlisberger looks like playing poorly against the Bengals, Steven Ruiz put an unbelievable super clip together from the first game. It was just absolutely superlative. Black and white film. Ben Roethlisberger skipping balls, doing crazy shit. I mean, this is not good for Ben Roethlisberger coming off of a big primetime loss like this, but having played well, getting his confidence back, and now going in and facing this team. The Bengals played well last week. They weren't clean. I give them a B-, but guess what? They covered easy. They covered easily, and they were coming off their bye. And sometimes the team that's been having success that goes into their bye week comes out of their bye week. Sometimes you see them stumble a little. Not this young Bengals team. They did fine. And I think that this is. I don't think they can look at their schedule, look at their standing, and think, "Oh, we've done what we set out to do this season." Like this is a milestone game for this young Bengals team in terms of kind of putting their foot in the sand that they are playoff worthy. And honestly, I'll go to war with Burrow and this set of wide receivers against a limping Steelers defense. Like realistically, those subs, they played hard. They played up last week. I wouldn't feel as good about this if we weren't forcing the old guys who are injured back into the started group. I think you could pick on them.
I think they actually gave him I think they gave him time. I don't think any of them are going to be limping back. Granted, he missed a game for COVID. When was the last time Big Ben threw an interception, Drew?
The way you asked that makes me think it was like probably week 5 or something.
4.
Week 4. Okay.
Green Bay.
Has he gotten better? Has his level of play gotten markedly better in your opinion?
Yeah. He has this weird block. His first 4 games, not great. His lowest quarterback rating over the past 5 games was a 94 against Seattle in a weird game where he did have to throw it 40 times. He has 2 games where he threw it over 40 times. He's been dropping back. And that's the thing. He's been asked to throw the ball a lot in the last 5 games. He has 4 quarterback ratings over 98.
Here's a couple.
He's had goodish games.
I'll entertain this thought experiment. I'm going to take the first 4 games of the season for Ben Roethlisberger, and I'm just going to throw them out. We'll look at week 5 on. Okay? Here's a couple of quarterbacks who have a higher EPA per play than him in that sample. Carson Wentz, Teddy Bridgewater.
Carson Wentz is playing good right now. Like you can't shit on Carson Wentz's EPA. Carson Wentz doesn't have a low EPA though because nobody catches his interceptions.
Mac Jones.
His EPA is
Tua Tagovailoa.
You're naming a bunch
of
Joe
Burrow.
Yeah, I mean you're naming a bunch of game. I think
I'm
EPA
naming his opponent this week.
I know.
He has a higher EPA per play over that.
I think EPA per play is a little flawed in quarterbacks who run offenses like that because it's like, well, it's a cumulative stat. Like, oh, here's a bunch of very small positives always without. It's weird. I want to get some more context to that sometime because there's like 2 different groups of quarterbacks. There's quarterbacks who add a bunch of EPA in one play, and there's quarterbacks who just always have positive EPA plays. And again, I don't think he's done anything wrong. They've had a good running game. They're crossing the street 1,000 times, like the Dr. Eric thing, but he's been okay.
If you
I never want to go to war with this guy, but I keep looking at this. I'm like,
no, I'm not
playing good for 5 weeks.
I'm not talking. He's not going up against the bums like the Baker Mayfields, the Pat Mahomes, guys who are like in the 20s here.
Also, he doesn't. Yeah, he doesn't play against those. He played a Cleveland defense. He played it. You know what?
Yeah, he did. He went up against Myles Garrett. Yeah, he went up against Myles Garrett. Yeah, he did. DPOY, Myles Garrett.
DPOY. All right, let's move on to Chargers.
I'm not sure if you've been following along, but the Miami Heat went into the fourth quarter down 10. They're now leading, and there's 8 minutes left. So that was wonderful. Just a wonderful start to the fourth quarter by the Miami Heat, and 6th man of the year Tyler Hero, who now has 25 points. Don't forget to fill out your ballots for 6th man of the year Tyler Hero.
I don't think anyone can just vote on that. Is that a fan vote?
No, but there may be some people who have a vote who are listening.
In the NBA. In the NBA, it would not surprise me.
Dude, we just want everyone we want the zeitgeist to just embrace this. Tyler Hero, 6th man of the year.
All right, Chargers coming off a
win. Tyler Hero, 3-pointer as we're speaking. 83-79, Miami Heat.
Heading to Mile High.
Let's go Heat.
This is the great evergreen stuff we give you.
Hey, the people in the chat deserve some winners as we're bantering about Steelers, Bengals. Okay, here's the
Lakers pulled it close.
The final thing I'll say about Steelers Bengals. My least favorite play of the week is the Bengals.
Yeah,
I least favorite of the week.
Struggled with this one. All right, Chargers Denver.
Didn't play it.
I didn't either. I don't have a lot on this.
I've lost
the Chargers underperformed. All right, so this is my thesis: is just because the NFL hates your guts, you bet the Chargers 2 weeks in a row. They did not cover either. In fact, they didn't even win the one game.
They beat the Eagles. That was the last Chargers win.
When was the Vikings game?
I have to go look at my records, but I think I bet them 5 weeks in a row and they've won one.
Yeah, so I feel like this is the week you avoid them and the Chargers go in and win 38.
Just curb stomp. Yeah.
Just curb stomp them. If the defense is healthy, it's a good defense. The final score in the Steelers game wasn't really indicative of how they played. They gave them 2 short fields on a block punt and a tip ball interception. Like, they should have covered. They should have won that game with margin. The offense looked great. This offense is probably going to look a little less great against what's been a good defense, a decent defense. And again, the offense has a bunch of wide receivers and a quarterback who can kind of play at times. I don't know what to make of the Broncos. They might just be one of these 500 teams that overperforms one week, underperforms next week, and you never get a good grip on them. And that's annoying because at the end of the season, you just look at them like, they were a middle of the pack team, but they never once played like a middle of the pack team. They either got the shit beat out of them or played really well. And in the end, it comes out to a cumulative middle of the pack team. They're an annoying team to me. I stayed far away from this, but again, I probably just didn't want to add another road favorite here.
Yeah, same. that and the mental abuse that I'm struggling through with my therapist over betting the Chargers this season.
A quick aside. I was telling Pete, original Tennis Pete, my car is old enough that it has a CD changer.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some burnt CDs in there from like probably 12, 13 years ago. And
that's gold, man. Don't lose those.
Oh my God. One of them is amazing. And there's so much weird shit on it.
That's awesome.
It's like Government Mule into No Doubt. It's such a weird CD. Then I switched, or it played the last track and it went to the next one. And the very first song.
Yeah.
No. The first song on the CD I burnt was the San Diego Superchargers song.
Oh,
I shit you not. I was driving down the road singing that song. It was so maybe it's a sign. Maybe I should be betting this team. Either way, Minnesota, San Francisco.
Well,
much more.
If you're enjoying my misery of betting the NFL, then bet the Chargers this week and win while I don't. So good stuff. Let's move on. I think the Chargers still make
Niners.
the playoffs, by the way, which means they
Yes.
probably just jinx them out of any kind of contention. Sorry, guys.
San Diego Superchargers.
I played the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday. Very happy with
So
my
did I.
position. Still like them. Moneyline plus 140 is a value play for me. The handicap is pretty straightforward. The Vikings coach fucks, man. That guy's got it going on. And I think you got to go to war with a coach like that. You know, I don't have much more to add. Other than the fact that Kirk Cousins is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, and he has at his disposal the best best receivers. The best wide receiver duo, number 2 and 5 in my rankings among wide receivers, in Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. These guys absolutely kick ass, and they're going up against the Niners secondary that people have been lulled to sleep that they are not horrific. Well, guess what? They are horrific. And in fact, there's really only one game state where the Niners win this game, and that is that they get out to an enormous lead.
They run a kickoff back, and then
they run a kickoff back, and they get a pick six, and then they just kneel. Otherwise,
Jeff Wilson Jr. show.
Otherwise, Minnesota is live at any deficit, and it's fun to back these guys. I don't know what to tell you. It's not always enjoyable, but it's entertainment.
I can't imagine still being a fan of this team. Annoying. Yeah, I like the Vikings. I like the Vikings team total over. I have this at a pick 'em. I think the secondary matches up, like you said, horribly against a guy who can stretch the field and one of the best possession receivers ever to put the purple on. And I say that dead seriously, knowing that Chris Carter was, and even Jake Reed. God, they had some good receivers over the years. This team has never won a Super Bowl, people. But yeah, what Thielen does is just, I mean, he's a guy who's just always open for the exact amount of yardage you need, or like 2 more. So he's like, oh, there he is. He got like everybody needs you on a 3rd and 8 knows what you need, and he somehow gets 3 yards of separation on a 10-yard out. Like it's just amazing what these guys do. And yeah, it's a very good offense. I like them a lot. Only issues with this is there's already defensive line injuries for the Vikings, and they just had another one today. And Cousins did throw a few wayward balls that were dropped by the Packers. If he keeps that clean, I think they're fine. I do worry that if that happens again, we're not feeling so good about this. How do we lead to the wrong game state? He throws a few picks and we end up in a bad spot. Now, Femi Singh Jokic out. Here I am bringing up NBA. God, Andy. Stupid.
You know what, man? All I care about is the Miami Heat are up by 6. Let's go Heat.
You lay it?
No, I waited until the 4th quarter started, and we bet the Heat money line at plus 268 tonight.
I wasn't sure you were allowed.
This is why I had to find new ways, Andy, and life finds a way. Either way,
life finds a way. God, there's some good late games. So yeah, we like Minnesota quite a bit. This offense should never be a 3-point dog against a defense like this, and an offense that really stunk. And I mean, you talk about the game state, that's what you had versus the Rams. That's why the defense looked okay. Rams, speaking of, go to Green Bay, try to get their shit right. Green Bay also
one, and I need you to give me a true evaluation of if I made the right play or not.
Green Bay needs to get their stuff right too. And granted, they just played the Juggernaut Vikings.
I played the money line on this one. Who did I play, and did I make a good play?
Did you play Green Bay?
No.
Good.
I bet the Rams.
I felt like you wanted to bet Green Bay for some reason. And I would have chided you for it.
I wish
the Rams were a little bigger dog.
I think Green Bay's in trouble. I think all of the, how many weeks have we seen the market dump on against Green Bay? A lot. Most. Right? I mean, the Green Bay gets bet against every single week, and they still find a way to win, find a way to cover. The rent is due on the Green Bay Packers sucking.
Rent's due every day, buddy.
This is a bad matchup for them, honestly. The Packers defense we saw last week, when they go up against a competent offense, that unit can get shredded. And you know who has a competent offense? The LA Rams. You know who has the
offensive player of the year,
runner-up offensive player of the year, Cooper Kupp.
You make the same fucking joke. Yeah, it's really good. And here's the biggest thing, and this is why I was going to question you if you took the home team. Like, I joked about him faking, but he might have a toe injury, and we've seen that. It's
Rodgers,
not like
right?
Rodgers may have a toe injury.
I don't think it's may. I think he's legitimately dealing with it, and he's
on the other hand
a little cagey.
On the other hand, I absolutely believe Stafford is injured, and I won't bet this game.
You think Stafford is hurt? You don't think he just got middle of the season malaise?
Oh, no, Matt Stafford's never. We talked about this when we did the Lions game. Stafford has done this his whole career. He just plays through stuff and gets worse. Those are some. He's throwing some bad balls. He's throwing some bad balls lately. Hopefully, he's feeling better off this rest. And I mean, it would probably opportune time. And with the situation and stuff, if he's healthy, this number is going to be hilariously short. If he's hurt, you're in for a dogfight.
I think they win 34-17. I think this is an ass kicking.
Okay.
Packers are due for a stinker.
And they had a couple.
Yeah, it was week 1.
Honestly, the Seahawks game was kind of a stinker.
No, they won 17-0. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
No, it was a stinker, but their defense played up. I'm talking about both sides of the ball. I'm talking about both sides of the ball, really unimpressive. Aaron Donald with a week rest is exciting. Like, you remember last year's playoff matchup, there was a lot of Aaron Donald versus Aaron Rodgers.
Well, and Green Bay down another offensive lineman.
The MVP versus the best defensive player. Well, that didn't manifest for shit. Green Bay now in this matchup
has missing offensive linemen.
Yeah, especially Aaron Rodgers limping around there with a busted toe. Yeah, this is awesome. I'm excited for the Rams. First time I've been excited. First time I bet the Rams.
You know who I'm excited for?
What's that?
Mrs. Stafford.
Because she can throw some cheese at someone?
No, like, she's never got to have her husband home for Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's a good point.
Ever. I mean, he's been with the Lions his whole goddamn career.
Set aside the fact that she gets to celebrate Thanksgiving in LA, which is going to be beautiful here.
So you get to do a beautiful Thanksgiving in LA, and then maybe don't travel. And you can blame it on, like, I don't want to get the whole pretzel thing again. I'm just not going to travel to fucking Appleton.
Okay. Well, just give me Jalen Ramsey to wipe Devontae Adams off the map. Give me Aaron Donald to knock Aaron Rodgers around a couple times, and I think we got ourselves making for an LA Rams. Remind everyone that they're still in the mix for the NFC title. Ultimately, I think they don't get it, but I think they will. I think they still win the West. I'll be honest with you. I think they still beat the Cardinals. I think there's value in that number.
A lot of models have the Cardinals at a higher projection, but I have it like 50-50.
I'm not. Yeah, that's yes. Thank you.
That's where I'm at.
That's yes. Thank you. Same. I mean, who the fuck knows if we ever see Kyler Murray again? Is he alive?
This is proof of life. So we
did this out of cover the pregame spread. Oh my god! Holy shit!
I feel like we did this out of order. We flexed, didn't we? Or do we flex next week?
No. Cleveland, Baltimore is still the Sunday night game. Snuff, yeah.
Yeah. So, flexing season is upon us, but Cleveland and Baltimore are still going to play each other.
Why would you flex this one? This was the most entertaining game of the year last year.
This is actually,
best game of the year.
If anything else, like
I just remember that game. I don't even need to handicap this one.
You give Lamar some laxatives before the game, and you just sit back and eat your popcorn, because that game was – I'll remember that game the rest of my life. That game had me doing the thing where you're, like, leaning forward on the couch and, like, yelling, and I'm not even sure I had anything but just a few small live tickets in that one. Either way –
well, let's just pretend that you remember that game for the rest of your life. Do you remember the final margin of victory for the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, because of that last play, the pitchy woo woo was
pitchy woo woo.
Yeah,
safety.
there was a safety, and it made a difference in that game.
5-point margin thanks to Marlon Humphrey tackling Jarvis Landry in the end zone.
Can you remember who was the quarterback who hurt his knee on third down right before Lamar ran out of the tunnel? I got LeBron.
Was it Trace McSorley?
I think so, because I remember that.
It wasn't Tyler Huntley.
I'm like, oh no. Like now they have no quarterbacks.
Looking guy than Tyler Huntley.
And he went down, and all of a sudden the camera cuts, and Lamar's running out of the tunnel. It's like a fucking movie. It was so cool. It was McSorley, according to Patrick, which I'm inclined to believe. Either way, this one is a similar spread. Ravens minus 4.5. Yeah. We have a total of 46. This will be played in the Queen City. It's not the Charm City. Yeah. Excuse me. Queen City is clearly Cincinnati. Home to the wire. Good show. The Browns are banged up. Last week, these teams, so we talked about all the teams in Thursday night had something in common. These teams also had something in common. They got wins against bad teams with barely functional quarterbacks. Because you had Tyler Huntley and you had Baker Mayfield. Mm-hmm. Baker Mayfield is, if Goff is pulling a Stafford, I don't know what Baker's doing. He's hurt. He ain't right. Nothing looks good right now. And we've got another injury to a receiver after he shipped another one off. I worry about the Browns. They're 6-5 somehow. And it doesn't feel good. I'm inclined to lay it here.
No, the performance we've seen to date would kind of go along with like a 4-7 type of record.
Yeah.
Not 6-5. No.
I don't think I will bet this, but if I had to, I would be forced to lay points with the Ravens.
Here's a couple quick questions.
I think
I'm just curious. Queen City is absolutely Cincinnati without question.
There's a few that go by that. Although I would say Charlotte is the buzz city because of the Hornets.
Charlotte is the Queen City also, yeah.
Yeah, there's like 6 of them.
Wow.
Slate.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God. Tuscaloosa is the Queen City. Denver's the Queen City.
Always has been.
Never heard Denver referred to.
Denver is the Mile High City.
Never heard of that. Springfield, Missouri. Helena, Montana. Queen City of the Rockies. How about that? Buffalo is the Queen City of the Great Lakes. Manchester, New Hampshire is the Queen City. Okay. Charlotte.
Of libertarians.
Yeah. Charlotte is going to be the biggest city that gets to call themselves the Queen City.
Baltimore presumably gets a healthy Lamar Jackson back, who will probably be a few pounds lighter by the sounds of it. He's cleared out, ready to go. And the Browns are not. They're a little banged up, but we do have the Defensive Player of the Year. What are you looking at? Are you watching the damn game?
Me? No.
Yeah, don't ever go to Springfield. Don't ever go to Springfield, Missouri, says Patrick. I don't know. I had fun in Missouri.
I mean, I'm getting a little sweaty here because it's 94, 88 heat now. Heat are, they're giving a little bit too much back here late. Might have a little interesting sweat here at the end about the second half line, not the money line that I got live. Sorry. Cleveland is the side at 4.5 for me. This is it. This is the last stand for the Cleveland Browns. I
wondered if you weren't going to do this because you're very. Well, your priors were higher than mine. I like the Browns preseason too, not as much as you.
4.5? Are you kidding me? This isn't a field goal game. If this isn't a field goal game, I don't know what a field goal game is. I don't. Baltimore's defense sucks. They should get beat by the Browns in this one. This is going to be able to get run on. This is going to look, in my opinion, this is going to look a lot like Colts Ravens looked. You remember that Monday Night Football game? By the way, the Colts only 2 losses in like the last 10 weeks have been both overtime against the Ravens and against the Titans, but that's beside the point. They're going to lose their asses this week, which is why it's such a delight to sell high on them. But the Browns, I think this should be a field goal game. There's not much separating these two teams. Both of these teams have flaws. Both of these teams have issues from injuries in terms of conceptually how they're constructed, in terms of what they're getting out of important players. The Baltimore Ravens have, 3 good players? It's tough to really wrap your head around this. And I will be honest with you, they should have covered against the Bears last week. Even the bigger number.
Yeah,
they should have covered with Tyler Huntley. Yeah. And you know why they didn't? It's because their offensive line sucks. It's super bad. And they're going to get beat by the Browns in this head-to-head, assuming that Myles Garrett comes out of witness protection and presumably Jadeveon Clowney and Malik or Malcolm McDowell are also, is it Malik McDowell? I think it's Malik McDowell, whatever. Assuming that both of those guys.
I hope they get a bunch of edge pressure and Lamar scampers for 28 yards at a time. He does take, he takes sacks. Lamar's the guy who takes a few sacks, but at the same time too, it's pressuring him can be a bit of a two-edged sword. I have said like a 5. I have the Browns at a steady downgrade because they're playing an injured quarterback right now. If they cover this number, which I'm not betting this, but I do think if they cover this number, you have a big day on the ground because you can run in this team. You can move on this team. I just don't think they're going to do it through the air with what we've seen from Baker lately. So you got to have a big day from these running backs.
Is that asking too much against this Ravens
team?
No,
I don't think it is. I'm just I'm very confident in the Ravens offense looking better.
Okay. All right.
We need we need a team total before we go to bed.
Yeah, let's review our choices. Considering the
it's not
the
a
fanfare, considering the fanfare we made around Jacksonville, I think it's got to be the Jacksonville under, right? We're going to war with that. We're going to war with the Atlanta Falcons defense.
Here? Oh man, and Dan's not even here this week. That sucks.
Well, maybe he was the reason. You ever think of that?
You're the reason.
Probably not, but
I'm trying to think of a song. You're the reason God made Oklahoma.
Ooh, okay.
It's an oldie.
Okay. So
yeah, let's do it.
Oh, look at that. Portland Trailblazers -7.5 on the close. That's no reaction. Andy's falling asleep talking about basketball.
I just checked final scores. Jacksonville's team total was 23.5, I believe, and we're going to go under
23.5. What
under
the
that.
Shit, man? 23.5.
If they were to eclipse this, it would be the first time they'd done so.
So, if you're writing copy and you're clipping this, you're going to say something like, the Jags are 0 and how many games have they played? 0 and 11? I think 11. How many games did the Jags play? 10? Jags are 0 and 10 when asked to score 23.5 points or more this season.
The last time they did so took overtime, week 13 of last year.
Oh, against the Vikings.
Yep.
No, they only scored 24 and they lost in that game.
They lost in that game 24-27.
Holy shit. So
I'm not sure if they scored in overtime. Maybe they had it in regulation.
14 consecutive games, the Jaguars have failed to score 24 points.
And the boys are going to war.
Under.
Going to war with that Falcons team.
No, I think there's a lot of good angles here. Realistically, I do.
Yeah, no, I actually like that one. Like I had that one in my pocket waiting for that game because that's about all I wanted to talk about with that game. So, hey guys, real quick, I will have a Thanksgiving contest for you guys.
What?
So
giving away money?
We are giving away NFL tickets to somebody.
NFL tickets. Oh, cool.
NFL up to a $500 value. So
nice.
It's in what do you call it? Like in cahoots with PrizePicks. So we'll have some details. I'll talk about it tomorrow on Brown Bag Bets. We'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll have some stuff. In fact, I have a banner right now. I'm going to put it up over my face. I'm going to close.
Yeah, please.
This. So you can win NFL tickets up to a $500 value, and it's basically enter 3 times over the weekend. There's football on Thursday, there's football on Sunday, there's a game on Monday. Each day you enter a 5-pick NFL flex, which is basically a 5-team parlay with player props, and you bet it with your stake can be whatever you want. But for this contest, if you want to enter in this contest, you give it an $8.88 stake. That way, so they can find these on the back end, and we don't have to worry about anything else. And you know what? If you win one of these, you win money too. Like you can 10 times that money if you hit all 5. Each correct prop counts as 1 point, so you get up to 15 points. You can do 1 5-picker on Thursday, 1 on Sunday, 1 on Monday. The user with the most points wins. If we have a bunch of people tied, I'll honestly just pull someone out of a hat or use one of those randomizers online. But NFL tickets up to a $500 value, I'll buy them. You can go to any game you want.
Are there any freebies or gimmies? Or are these like legit 50-50s?
So that's the thing too. Like if you are doing this, you can go look at the betting market. These are because essentially they're all just 50-50s on here. So you can find sometimes where it's like, hey, the over under here for Brady the other day was 26 receptions completed. And in the market, that was like it was 26.5 minus 20. Mm-hmm. So you get a little bit of free value on some of those. And
so there's some game theory. So there's I like a little game theory.
That's especially why I'm so mad about Daniel Jones not running. I had his rushing total in one of my PrizePicks entries. So if you have any questions, hit us up on this. But I will say there is a freebie on Thursday.
I have a prediction.
If you are a new user, there is a free, basically a free leg. I think it's Josh Allen over a half passing yard. So you get 1 point off the bat if you're a new user. Yeah, we'll talk about that later.
The Miami Heat win by 8. I got a prediction for you, Andy. You ready?
Yes.
I think someone out there is going to hit all 15. One of our listeners. We have a sharp crew. Like the people that listen to this podcast don't screw around. They go and they nuke these type of things. I think somebody's going to hit all 15.
The tough one will be Monday because you only have one game to play with.
So you're going to need to predict that. But you just need to get one game script exactly right.
Yeah, no, I mean and that's the other part of it. A lot of it is some correlation. You can do some, a quarterback over with on the losing team for completions or something and whatever.
And then Monday's game is Seahawks, Washington. Is that right?
I thought Washington was on bye.
Or maybe that's next.
Maybe that's right. All right. Either way, hey, all you guys.
Monday is Washington, Seattle.
Anybody of you who celebrates the American Thanksgiving, I hope you have a good weekend. If you don't, I still hope you have a good weekend. Regardless, I hope you hit a thumbs up on the YouTube if you are following along in here. If you were in the what's the purple icon? Twitch? Looking at you, Rick Daddy 69420. I hope you have a good Twitch holiday. And
Papa Cal's, Patrick, Femi, James,
post some pictures.
Guys, all you guys, Brian. We appreciate you.
Yeah, sorry. Like James, if you win in Australia, maybe I'll talk to Reed. Maybe we can just buy you AFL tickets. Like we'll get you to a Magpies game or something.
Dude, just fly to Vegas. We'll get a Raiders game. We'll get you to the Raiders. Andy, you're kind of a Rain Man when it comes to math stuff.
Oh God.
What are the chances that someone gets 15 correct picks in PrizePicks if they're all 50-50?
I mean, it's 0.5.
One in what?
0.5 carat 15.
One in what? You're doing the math. I can see you. You're typing. Stop cheating.
I am not.
Off the top of your head.
1 in a quintillion?
No.
One in 3.8 million.
1 in 33,000.
Well, that's not that hard.
I know, right?
3,000 people.
That's what I was saying. One of our guys is going to get it. One of our guys is going to get 15. So if you think you're going to win the PrizePicks NFL tickets, you better get all 15 correct because somebody's going to do it from our crew. We'll do it.
And with that, we will close the show on a winning bet from Brown Bag this morning.
And a winning bet from this live broadcast of the Miami Heat, covering every number you possibly could have bet live while we were on this show.
Yeah, pretty much. They were a dog.
They were a dog.
So, yeah, Western Michigan team total over 30.5, 31.5, 32.5. Doesn't matter. They're at 35-7 now, heading into the fourth quarter in DeKalb. Thanks. We'll see you on Thanksgiving.
Andy, wishing you the best Thanksgiving.
Producer cut you off there.
Well, I was a little slow.